17th, 2023. This is the Bluff Town Council meeting. Roll call.
Jim Sayers.
Luanne Hook.
Brant Murray.
Linda Sosa.
Ann Leppanen.
Erin Nelson, serving as town manager.
So the first thing is the approval of the Bluff Town Council regular meeting minutes from September 12th, 2023. Did everybody read them? Are there any changes, modification, points of discussion?
Yeah, I have a change. In number 5, when I'm giving the recounting, or the minutes are recounting what I said about the DRC, I was suggesting either a contract with a contingency or time and materials. There's just an addition of an or in there somewhere, I think.
Mayor, I'll motion that those be approved with Jim's correction.
Is that making sense, Linda?
Yep, got it.
Cool. Second.
Any further discussion? Then all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. Then the second is the approval of the joint work session minutes from September 12th, 2023. Did everybody receive those? And are there any changes, modifications, points of discussion?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. This is the opportunity for public comment. There will be a 3-minute time limit for each person wanting to make a public comment. If you exceed the 3-minute time limit without permission, the meeting controller will mute you. Signal before the meeting starts by putting your name in the chat box or raise the hand icon if you wish to make a public comment. And Erin, do we have public comment?
No, I did not have any indication from anyone.
So I will say that I am in the community center. There are no persons from the public here to make a public comment. So we're going to move to number 1, which is discuss and possible vote on the Acton petition to disconnect. I am going to ask for everyone to agree to pull that from the agenda tonight. Chris McEnany was doing the resolution for us to look at, and because of circumstances beyond his control, he has been behind getting things to us and probably to other people too. And so in keeping with Luanne, who I agree, you'd like to see the document and be able to vote on it or reject it. And so rather than to spend a whole lot of time and then get to that and tell you I don't have it and somebody to object, we're just going to have to hold a special meeting, probably Monday or Tuesday to meet the deadline. But I promise you, unless the town falls apart, I am not adding anything else to that special meeting. It will simply be looking at the disconnect petition and making the vote.
Do you need a motion to move that off the agenda, Mayor?
No, I just want to hear if there's any dissent.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And thanks everyone for their patience, but I know we've been putting a lot of quick things up on our attorney's to-do list. And today we had an hour of time, well, 45 minutes to an hour of time. So that was good. Number 2, update on the Bears Ears National Monument Land Exchange. What I do know as an update is that this Thursday, the Congress will be meeting to do what's called a markup of the bill. And if I understand that correctly, this gets to the legislators to take a look at and be able to mark up literally. Again, it has been said repeatedly by Representative Curtis that it is not his opportunity to pull anything off or make any changes to the agreement, but he does have our list of requests. And one of our requests was to, be sure remove the 2 parcels. Well, first to, get rid of those 3 parcels out of the exchange, but in the alternative, to be able to secure recordable easements on the 2 parcels by the river and maybe do some protection on those parcels and up on the bench. And that went off to him, I believe, Monday of last week. So Thursday, I think maybe stay tuned. We might have some updates. I know that Josh Ewing is following this pretty closely, so I think we'll know more on Thursday what's going on. Any questions? All right. Number 3, update on the annular solar eclipse committees and the meeting with the business owners of Bluff on September 15th, 2023. Erin, do you want to take that?
Sure. Alrighty. So as town council knows, but hopefully we can continue to get the word out to residents and businesses. The solar eclipse is occurring on October 14th. We definitely still need volunteers. Thank you to those of you who have reached out to express that you have time to volunteer. We are still taking volunteers and still need help. With that, Ann did just drop off the meeting, so I want to make sure that we're capturing the audio. If you all just hold for 1 second, I'm just going to go make sure she can hear us.
Oh,
Well, we can't hear her. Is she muted?
Yes, okay. My computer just shut down. And so I've rebooted and I'm back on, but I didn't do any talking. I did leave the recorder on, so I don't know where you all are. Erin?
Erin saw you dropped off and came to check on you, so we just all hit pause. We didn't know
Thank
if
you.
the recorder was going, so.
Yeah, the recorder kept going and I didn't. So thank you, Erin.
Alrighty. So with that, I've had some volunteers reach out. I appreciate that. We definitely do still need volunteers. It sounds like there might be some questions. So I will probably have Linda send out another email early next week and maybe have just a little informational session in case people have questions about what we're asking for. However, in the meantime, we all of our details and like eclipse tips for residents can be found on the Town of Bluff website at townofbluff.org/eclipse. We've a lot of really great work into that document. Thank you to the communications subcommittee for working on that. And then for visitors, they can go to the Business Owners of Bluff website, which has eclipse tips for visitors, which includes important things like make sure you bring food and water and have fuel, which are all things that you as residents should also be aware of. Additionally, this week we are trying to put together, so hopefully next week we can mail out a flyer with eclipse information and glasses. Those are going to go out to every household. So we're just getting those details ironed out this week. But our most important points are going to be going into mailboxes. And then our next committee meeting, Solar Eclipse Planning Committee meeting, is this Thursday at 10 a.m. I'll be finalizing volunteer duties, the roadmap, and things like that. And so after those details are finalized, those will also be available on the website. I was able to officially lock down road barriers today, so that is a huge relief. We can guarantee that our very sensitive resources are protected, at least from vehicle traffic. So that's great. As for the Business Owners of Bluff meeting, Ann and I both attended. We did go through pretty in depth, kind of some expectation, what we're expecting for the eclipse, including pretty significant estimates of visitation. Hotels in the area, as you all probably know, have been booked for months, if not years. It sounds like one of the hotels has been booked up for 2 years. Restaurant owners shared their plans. Certainly, again, just as a reminder for residents, have food, have water, have cash, have fuel. I do expect restaurants to be quite overwhelmed that weekend. In addition to the eclipse, during the business owners meeting, they started talking about they're going to be working on putting together the balloon festival for this coming January and the planning process. So they themselves have a little subcommittee to work on that. And then brainstorming some ideas for additional revenue for their organization. But certainly we spent quite a lot of time talking about the eclipse. So next meeting this Thursday, and then we really should have everything finalized. And I look forward to presenting the final plan, hopefully on October 3rd to you all. Again, if you know people who want to volunteer, send them our way. We can use as many hands as we can get. And what did I miss?
Not a thing. Very thorough. I just want to say that Erin has done an amazing amount of work, and Diana Davidson has done an amazing job on the website information that people are looking at. So we've been getting compliments on the website, on the amount of work. And I was saying to someone today, I honestly haven't had a question from anyone in over a week where I went, oh, we didn't think of that. I think we're covering our bases really well. And I'm hoping for cloudy days and rain through 2 or 3 days before, and that no one shows up. But
Well,
it should be quite the event.
if it all goes south, we're not going to blame me, though. That's the only, little stipulation there. But no, it has been a ton of work. So many people have put time in. The only other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if I provided this in the update last week. The BLM, they had been relatively quiet, kind of just, the last couple months, relatively quiet, but they have recently released actually quite a lot more information about public lands and usage specifically in Utah, because it goes over every single one of BLM's districts in Utah. So they have information out on the BLM website now, which hopefully, visitors will access to, look at dispersed camping regulations and things like that. So we appreciate that they're paying attention to it. And again, as I've reported in previous meetings, we do have attention from Highway Patrol, from the state level, from our county level, and of course our wonderful volunteers and emergency services here in Bluff. So we're very thankful.
Yep, it's going to be quite the occurrence. Any questions about that? Brant?
Mayor, should we order, as part of our equipment, order some sunglasses for people that may get here, maybe public safety people that don't have them? I'm thinking maybe we should look around and see if we should get some sunglasses that we could distribute to people that don't have them. Just an idea.
Yeah. So yes, we have ordered them. We teamed up with Bears Ears Partnership, so we have glasses that will go out to the public, and then we'll have extras. Bears Ears Partnership has a stash of them, and I had a panic attack and ordered a couple boxes. So personally,
Fantastic.
not
Thank you.
on the town's money, but I ordered boxes because if you take the number of people or the number of households in town, I have 10 guests coming, 10 family members. I heard today from somebody who has 8. Even if it's just you and your partner and you each have a guest, you just doubled your household. So that puts us at 500 minimum people coming in, or 500 people in, before we even get to those visiting from other places. So I think we just need to have as much on deck as possible. And I'm sure that Erin and I will be working with BEP to get those glasses.
And as an overabundance of caution, not sunglasses, but sun viewing glasses. These are eclipse glasses. But yes, we have some. Bears Ears Partnership is going to be a great resource for folks. I know the county has some. They'll have some down at Goosenecks. But those are part of the mailers that we're sending out. And we understand, 2 per household is not enough. However, you might share a little bit, and you can go to these other resources to get extra pairs.
Lou?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the county also had a little program for the motels, and they sent us down a stack to distribute for guests. So I think we'll be pretty well set for people.
Yeah, and I think that raises that really good point. They're not just sunglasses. They should be the NASA-approved viewing glasses, and you keep them on during the entire occurrence. You don't take them off like you could do when there was the one in 2017. These stay on. Don't take them off to look at that ring at all. So that's the other piece Erin and I are trying to push out. Okay, it's going to be fun, right?
Great work, everybody. Thank y'all.
You're welcome, Brant. So number 4, if there's nothing else on the eclipse, report on Bluff Waterworks meeting on Wednesday, September 13th, and the discussion that I had with Marks Powell regarding the rule on lead and copper piping. So on the 13th, Marks and I met at his request because I was just going to do it right before the BWW meeting. And when we reported on the Utah League of Cities and Towns, Erin and I reported that what they said, the date was for compliance was October 16th, 2024, to do the inventory on lead and copper piping. And it was presented as a done, hard, firm mandate. Then they talked about 2 grants that were possible. One would be to do the inventory and one would be to do the infrastructure. And so after Marks read the minutes, and I think he listened to the meeting, but the bottom line was he made a couple of corrections. One correction that he made was really crucial, which was he said that we can only apply for 1 grant. So if we apply for the inventory grant, that's less money and it's the inventory and not the infrastructure work. We would be missing out on the infrastructure, which will be substantially more money, and the town could probably qualify for a hardship clause on the money for that. So if we can only apply for 1, that should be a decision we make, because we want to take the one that gives us the most support for the water system. And the second piece to it is, when I was preparing for the meeting, I looked at the website that they had up, and this is still an interim rule. So the interim rule gives the date of October 16th, 2024. But the other question that I had was, when you have interim rules and they take a while to pass, that interim rule becomes a field goal, post, it keeps moving. So while that's a target date and something we shouldn't lose sight of, I thought I'd just follow up with the Division of Drinking Water and confirm a couple of things. Then if that's definitely the case, we want to pull off the Sunrise inventory, because Bluff Waterworks, Marks has said, has been working on the inventory for the lead and copper piping. So we wouldn't need that part of the grant. So I'm just tying up a few loose ends, but it sounds like there's a plan, and it might end up switching to putting it on for an infrastructure grant as opposed to an inventory grant. Any questions or thoughts about that? Well, I'll just go ahead and keep following up with the information I've got and keep you all posted then. The next thing that I have is a report on a meeting on biomass utilization project on September 13th, 2023. And the discussion was with Bears Ears Partnership, Britt Hornsby. And then he was meeting with the Forest Service, somebody from the Wildlands Fire that's worked with us before. And then there was a nonprofit representative there on firewood. But what the project is the Forest Service cuts down trees and brush, and then rather than wasting them or burning them or doing whatever, they've set up programs in Arizona and New Mexico to distribute the firewood to people who need it. So they were here. The group is working with Bears Ears Partnership, and Bears Ears Partnership was trying to show them places that storing the wood might be a possibility. So the Cooperative Cultural Center was one of the places that they wanted to look at. So I met them over there, and we walked around, looked at it. And again, I want to stress, this is not something we need to vote on or something that needs to be decided, because it's several months, like many months out. They're just exploring it now, but how it would work if they used the CCC area would be that corner off by the modular where the fencing is, because they need a locked area. They discovered with other projects that the wood kind of left quickly if they didn't have it secured for the handout days, that they have the distribution days. And then theoretically, the cars or trucks can drive in, be loaded, and then drive out without driving on anything but asphalt. They were looking, after us, they were going to the Mission and I believe somewhere on the reservation. So they were looking at, I think, 4 spots. Once they narrow down where they would like to try to do this, they will work with Britt Hornsby and Bears Ears Partnership, who then will work with the one of 4 that's being asked to host the project. So Jim and I ran it by the DRC today, again, not to make decisions, but just to say, this is a possible use for the CCC outside. It does come with some special considerations. As one, how much wood and how messy would it be? They would be doing the cutting, as I understand it, on the Forest Service property and bringing it in all cut and ready to stack. And then it would be stacked in order of dryness, so ready to use to green. And then the other consideration is construction. If we were to get the $1 million grant or any grant, we may need to really shift resources and where people are and using any of the grounds or the building just to be able to do the construction. I don't think we want a $1 million construction site with wood and modulars and a whole bunch of other things in the yard, but that is yet to be seen. So, Lou, I meant to ask you, the young woman who came to do the giant cane, she said to say hi to you and Jim. I recognized her and I can't remember her name. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. And I can't think.
Is it? Maybe not.
What, Brant?
What did you say, Brent?
I am. Is it Kim? Maybe not.
No.
That's my best guess.
Okay, well, think about it, because when I saw her, I remembered it. And then as soon as I got back home to write it down, it was gone. All right, so I'll keep you posted on that. I don't think that there's anything we're even going to need to think about for months. But
It's Jordan. Jordan Nesbitt. She's one that works with a lot of that stuff.
it's Jordan. Thank you. And it's bad because I remembered her name, but then that was it. Okay, if there's no other questions on that, we can go to the financial support, and that's Linda.
I sent everyone the September financial report, which is basically the bills that we are paying this month. And are there any questions? And then can I have a vote to approve?
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve as presented with the Kathy Carson one included, and compliment Linda for all her work with our financial and minutes. So thank you, Linda.
Oh, thank you.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion or any other thoughts, questions? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Then it's unanimous. And we're really moving through this because I kept a lot of things off with the idea that we'd be having this half-hour to 45-minute discussion. So you all get an award for me not being on top of getting something to us to vote on. Last is a discussion and vote for the final roads account repayment. And that amount is $10,925.88. Linda, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so 3 years ago, we transferred about a little over 30,000 from the general fund to roads. And our resolution said that we would pay it back this same amount in September over 3 years. So this is the final amount. This will close that out. So I wasn't, when I wrote this, I wasn't sure if we needed to vote, but probably doesn't hurt.
It won't hurt. Yeah, it won't hurt to vote to transfer it.
I'll make a motion to do that, Mayor.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. Then we move to other. I have one other on the elections. We received information from Lyman Duncan, the election official for San Juan County, that the anticipated mailing of the ballots will be between the 19th and 20th of October. I'm going to stress the word anticipated. At least as long as we've been in town, those ballots come out anywhere from 3 days to a week ahead of the schedule, and the state gave us a date of October 31st for mailing. So we have a little discrepancy between the state and the county. Anybody else have an other? Lou?
Yeah, so one thing, planning and zoning meeting is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Their regular scheduled planning and zoning. And then the other update, I didn't get it on the agenda, but the Active Transportation Advisory Committee has been working with Bike Utah, and Bike Utah has given us what the whole committee has come to a consensus that we all love it. And so it looks really great. We're hoping to get it on the agenda on October 3rd, get it presented to the council, get the plan on the website before that to get community input. And then there'd be a vote on October 10th is sort of the way it's looking. October 12th then is that UDOT meeting, regional meeting, to see what projects they want to work on first. Anyway, I can't wait to get it on the website. Get it to council, and that's the update on that.
Linda?
Yes, I'm going to make a request that what Lou just informed us about is on our next agenda, which I guess October at this point. Having just, the audit word again, done the audit, there are times that I have to find information for people, for auditors, for entities. And when information is on other, I can't find it. I have spent a huge amount of time looking for something. So what Lou just said is really important. I'm requesting that it be on the next agenda.
Yeah, thank you. And that if you can make a note there now, I can send an email anyway. Let's get it on October 3rd's agenda for an intro, and hoping for a work session just to be able to answer all of council's questions ahead of presenting it. But anyway, just wanted to get that sort of heads up to everyone.
I've got it on the list for October 3rd. I met with Molly Schmidt on Sunday to do a little bit of discussion about some questions I had.
Great.
And one of the things that I said to her was, well, first of all, compliment. It's a really lengthy, intense document. However, given between the disconnect and the aviation and the solar eclipse, I am trying really hard to pace all of us so that we're not just fried when we get to the marathon the week following or two following. And so I agree with you, Lou. It needs a work session because there's a lot of questions that people will have. The public needs to read it, but I can't guarantee a vote in the time frame that was laid out. And Molly seemed to understand that in our meeting on Sunday, and she'll probably come back and talk with all of you about it. It's really a matter of we're overwhelmed for September, October, and the first week of November. We will get it on as quickly as possible. So let's talk about it on the 3rd and get more information out. But if you can get it, is it now public? Like, is that something we can get on the website?
It's really close. There were a couple other little, dots on the map and a couple things that the committee tweaked today. And so they'll probably get it out in another day or two.
Okay. And then it's public, right?
Well, then we can put it on the website and get it to council and everybody can start looking through it. But I think the work session just helps because we can all sit and discuss and not have to read it individually and talk through things.
Well, it's 61 pages, but I really would encourage everyone when it's up to read it and look at it because it's a lot of information and a lot of potential phasing in and commitment as we go. So thank you, though. I do agree with Linda. Sometimes when I'm searching things, if I'm looking in the agenda and I can't figure out where we talked about it, it does help for us to get as many of the others onto the agenda list. And I will try harder to remember about planning and zoning and those basic other things. All right,
Jim has his hand raised.
Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention to our town manager that the Navajo tribe has an approval process for translations for political translations, and I happen to know one or two of those people, and I will contact them. I have no idea what their rates are, but I think that we could send that document to him and he would translate it, send it back. And I don't know, we'd probably have to pay him for it, but he's pretty good. I'll find out about that tomorrow.
And just so what Jim's referencing is we are hopefully also sending out some information about elections. And so it is critical that that is available in English and in Dene.
Correct. Motion to adjourn.
It's 6:32 p.m.
I'll make a second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? It's unanimous.